one nested for loop, and then we'll go to break and continue statement, and then we'll move to array concept. So quickly we'll move on to. So there are a lot of programs are there. You can try it out all other programs. We will write few more programs also. Like, so I want to print a rectangle shape. So I want to print a rectangle shape in stars. Okay, so that's what the program we want to do that. Maybe you can take 4 rows and like 3 rows and 4 columns or something like that, or 5 columns. You take that. That's a rectangle, right? Maybe more columns will be there, less rows. So you can do that. So that, how can you print that? So that's a very important. Let's do that. You can so cover nested for loops there. So protected, static, void. So print rectangle shape. So you need to declare int final int rows is equal to 4. I'll take final int columns equal to 5. So these are the rows and columns we have taken, and you need to take it 2 for loops. So int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to rows and I plus plus. So int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to columns and j plus plus. And now, so you need to print so row and column value in the, so sys out. So you can just print here star. Just print the star. Okay, so this is what we need to do. And then after inner for loop, bring the cursor to next row. So this is what it is going to print in the rectangle shape. You just see that. If you want more explanation, I'll execute that. So I need to show in the debug mode, right? Debug mode we haven't seen, I think. So how to run in debug mode? So if you want to run, let me comment out these two. So I don't want to waste time. I'll run in any program. If you want to run in debug mode, what you need to do is, so you just put a toggle breakpoint in which line onwards you want to execute line by line code. Basically, debugging means running the code line by line in your presence. Otherwise, program will run in background and it will give the output, right? We don't want that. So how can you run in debug mode? Just put a toggle breakpoint here. So this is the toggle breakpoint. Then you right click, debug as. Generally we use a run as, but if you want to run in debug mode, you have to click debug as Java application. See, it will switch to debug. Now we are in the Java perspective, top right. Can you see here? So this is the Java perspective. And then it will move to this bug icon, debug mode. That is a debug mode. See, cursor went to debug mode. And the panel will show here, your variables will be shown to you. So your variables and values will be shown to you. Okay. So now if you want to run, see it stopped here, still in running mode. Still in running mode, you can see here, red mark. And if you want to run next lines, what you need to do, you have to use these icons. Step into, step over. So step into is one method inside another method you call. That method inside, if you want to go, you call step into. Okay. Otherwise, step over is fine. So just click on F6, step over. See, it is showing these two values are rows and column values are 4 and 5. The right hand side you can see here. Then click on that, it will go. Say first I value 1. Now J value we are calculating. J value also 1. So one time it will print here. See that. See, first star is printed. Again, where it is going inner for loop only it is executing. It's not going outer for loop. But guess inner for loop didn't become a false. So it's still true only. See, now J value will update now. See, J value will update here. Observe carefully. See, J value updated 2. Still I is 1 only. J value updated to 2. And now this 39th line will execute one more star. Why I put a print method? I want in the horizontal, all columns. See, one more is printed. Again, now J value will update to 3. So again, 3 less than or equal to 5, true, comes inside. Again, J value will increment to 4. So fourth time it will star will print. 4 less than or equal to 5, true. So that also printed. Again, J value will update inner. So this J plus plus is executing now and it is going to increment. Now it will become 5. So 5 less than or equal to 5, true, right? That's why it came into the body. So 5 is printed. Now J value will update to 6. But that condition is false. This condition is false. That's why it exited the inner for loop and came to here. Now it will go to outer for loop. Now I value will increment to 2. So I value will increment to 2. See, I value will increment now. See, I becomes a 2 now. So second, now it will start second row. Your cursor is in the second row now. Again, J value 1 now. So first star is printed. Then again it repeats 5 times. So inner for loop only will execute all. Now I value becomes 3. So now again repeats for third row. So 2 rows are over. Third row it is executing. See, J value 4 and 5 and it executes. Now it will go to next row. So I equal to 4. And so J value 2 and so it is repeating. Now repeats. Now I value will increment to 5 and exits. See, that method is over. So this is the how to execute in debug mode, line by line code. It will execute. So if you want now in the debug mode, if you want to come back to Java perspective, click on this Java mode, this one. See again, it will come to Java perspective and remove this toggle breakpoint. So how to run in debug mode? First step, first select in the method inside which line onwards you want to run line by line code. So first put the toggle breakpoint, set the toggle breakpoint, then you can right click and debug as Java application. It will switch to debug perspective. Once it is switched to debug perspective and you can run line by line code by so okay. So That's how to run. Any questions here? This is the C nested for loops. One for loop inside another for loop. Okay. Now, so public, static, void, break demo. So break statement demo I'm showing. So the break statement, you know already. So once the condition is satisfied, then break will execute. So the break executes means the entire for loop will terminate. It won't execute further. That's a break statement. So we already discussed, and I'm giving a program now. I don't know whether I explained the program, but let me give you the so this program also. So we covered the nested for loop. We covered nested for loop. We covered a nested if conditions. We covered switch block. We covered if else. So we covered, and if statement anyhow I'm going to cover here now. See, so for so int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. If I equal to 5, then break it. So if I equal to 5, then break it. Otherwise, print that I value. So you can print I value. Maybe I can give one tab. So then after for loop, so I'm just checking after outside the for loop. Outside the for loop. So now you can see the break statement again. I can start break statement here. Let's run this, call this method and execute so that you can understand it. So you can understand the code very easily with the debug mode. So that's why run your program. You can execute line by line code and understand that. So right click, run as, sorry, debug as Java application. See that? It went here and it will execute. Now you need to use a step over F6 you need to press. From keyboard you can use F6. Otherwise in the toolbar you can use this step over. So it came. So I value 1. So one I value 1, right? 1 equal to 5. True or false? 1 equal to 5. True or false? False. So it won't go inside. So it will come here. So 1 will print. See, 1 is printed. Now I value updated to 2 equal to 5 false. So it won't go to if condition inside. If block inside, it won't go. Again, it will come to 50th line. So it came to 50. How code is switching, how code is jumping, please understand that. That's a very important. How code is moving, execution, that's what you need to catch that. So this one, and then I equal to 3, and 3 also not true. And again going I value will increment to 4. 4 equal to 5 false. 4 also will print. And then so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed. And then you can see 5 equal to 5. So true, right? So true means now break is going to execute. Break, what it will do? It will exit the entire for loop. Even though you are using if condition inside, entire for loop will terminate. Once break is executed, now I am executing the break. See where the cursor will go. 52 line it will move. But the next iteration it won't happen. See, it jumped to 52 line. That means it is exiting the entire for loop. If break is encountered in your for loop inside if condition, whenever the break is encountered, the rest of the iterations won't execute. Entire for loop will terminate. Entire for loop will terminate. So that's the break statement, how it will execute. Okay, that's it. Done. So you can switch back, and you can, if you don't need these breakpoints, remove the, just double click. So to set the breakpoint, double click on the line. To unset also, just double click on that. It will unset. Okay. So one more program, continue statement. Continue means what? If your so statement is so executed, the continue, here you write a continue. Okay. So continue, what it will do? Basically, it will continue to the next iteration. So that iteration won't execute. The next iteration will continue. So you can see here, once it is true, and so it will continue. It will continue, right? So once continue is executed, it won't happen. So that is what no, this loop I less than 5, or I can give some condition. I percentile by 2 to not equal to 0. I will. So I percentile by 2 not equal to 0. Then continue. That means I'm going to print only odd numbers. So that's what I'm doing here. See that. Let's continue this. I'll run in debug mode. Oh, I didn't call this method, right? Let's call the method. First, you have to call the method, then only you can call. You can execute the code. Otherwise, you're not going to execute. So set that toggle breakpoint, then right click, debug as Java application. It will switch to debug mode and execute it. See that? So first one. So 2% L by 2. Two is printed. Not equal to 0. 1 not equal. Okay. Yeah. So then this is the going to print only even numbers. For example, I want to give basically that is the one. I made a mistake. So then it went there again. I made a change. I went there. So first I equal to 1. See? So this condition is not. So it came to here. So 1 is printed. Next. So I equal to 2. True. It is true. That's why continue. So that won't execute further. It will move to next iteration. So it went to next iteration. I equal to 3. So 3% L by 2 not equal to 0. So that's why it jumped. So I equal to 4. And 4 is 4 divided by 2 equal to 0. So it will to continue. Then I equal to 5. See, only odd numbers are printing. So you can see only odd numbers are printing. So it jumped out of the for loop and it came out. So this is the you can run in debug mode. So however you want. So running program in debug mode is very, very important. You should know how to run the programs in debug mode. Clear? So that's all about basics of for loop, while loop, do while loop, and switch, nested if else, if condition, break, continue, we covered. So let's cover now array concept. So any questions before going to that arrays concept? Are we good, Bhavya, Kumar?
Yep.
Yeah, Ramesh.
So next topic is array, but array before I just need to give one more loop for each loop. So till now we used a normal loop, normal for loop. First initialization for bracket initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, increment or decrement, and curly bracket logic we are writing, right? That's what the till now we have seen for loop. Now, so we need to see for each loop. So this for each loop is used only for arrays and collections. Arrays and collections. If you want to iterate in forward direction, that means one direction, you will use this for each loop. So the syntax of for each loop is for bracket data type of your array or collection, then variable name, colon, array name or collection name, array name or collection name. Okay. So for bracket data type, variable name, colon, array name or collection name. So how do we know your array data type? So while declaration time itself, we will give a data type of the array, collection data type also. And you write the logic here. So this is the for each loop syntax. So before using this, let's understand first array. What is an array? So why do you want to go for arrays? You have variables already. And then array, why do you need? Basically, a variable main purpose is to store the data. Variable will be used to store a single data. But arrays are used to store multiple similar kind of data sets. In one memory, you can store multiple similar kind of data type. Otherwise, so in normal variables means it will occupy more memory and also more space. That's the problem with the variables. But with single array, you can store a similar kind of data, how many you want. You specify the size first, and you can store multiple elements at the same time. That is what array. So array means you can tell array is used to store multiple similar kind of data type elements. That's the main plan. And fixed size. Size is fixed. You have to tell 5 elements. Only 5 elements you can store in the array. Suppose 5 integers, you can store 5 integers. So length is fixed here. Array length is fixed here. And data type, you decide what data type elements you want to store. That is the this. array concept. So how to create an array? First, you will declare a variable, array variable to hold the array, and create a array object and assign it to the array variable. Store the information that you want to declare what type of data. So this is the array structure. So you will represent array always in square brackets. If square brackets is there, what is the meaning of that? It's an array. So each element is identified by array index or key. So every element is identified by an array index. Index starts at 0 first. Your index starts at 0. Because of the indexes, random access is possible. Because of these indexes, you can access even -45, just giving the index number. Anywhere you can access. So this is all in the one memory they will store. So based on the size, it will suppose this size is 8. So that means 8 elements you can store here. 8 integer numbers. So that's the array, how you can store. Okay. So array means simple, very simple. You tell array is used to store multiple similar kind of data type elements. Array is a fixed in size. Array length is fixed. You have to give the array size. Initially, while creating the array itself, you have to specify the array size. And array works based on the index. The first element always in the 0 index. Last element, if you want to access, you need to write a formula. Always write a formula. Array name dot length -1. If you do, you will get the last element index. If you want to access first element, you have to give array name of 0. Always. The first element means you have to give array name square bracket inside 0. That will access the first position, what value is there. Now here, so what is the, first element here? In this, what is the first element here?
34.
34. So if you want to access 34, what you need to do? The array name, square bracket, the index number. What is this index number? 0. So you write 0 in the square brackets. That's how you can access array elements. So the simplified formula to access the array elements, what is the formula? Array name, square bracket, index. It doesn't matter what value is there. Automatically you will get that. You just write array name, square bracket, index. Automatically your array will be accessible. How can you access the last element index? Last element. So array name, square bracket. So square bracket inside you write array name dot length -1. You'll get the last element index. Array dot length will give you the total number of elements. And -1 means 8 - 1, 7. So the index number is 7. So then you will get a value 1. Based on this diagram. So this is how you can declare array. For example, I want to store 100 people. Their names I want to store. 100 people names I want to store. Then how can you create a names? Means it's a string type data. So you have to declare your array data type is a string, square bracket, array name equal to new string, square bracket, 100. So the array size is 100. Now the array size is 100. So what are the advantages of array? Basically, main advantage is you can access the array elements randomly based on the index. So easy to implement and use that arrays. Very fast data structure, and also called it's a static data structure. Static data structure. You cannot change at runtime. Once you create the array, that's a static. You cannot change it. So when you can use this arrays is if you want to add items over and over again, we want to take items with the given indexes, it will be very, very fast. So that's the advantage of arrays. So then disadvantages means a size limit, because you will fix the size. So array size, you will fix it. It's not dynamic. So if it is a full, you have to create a bigger array and you have to copy the values one by one and into another array. So that's it. So you have to change the array size. While creating itself, beginning itself, you decide how much is the array size. So if you want to store, for example, you declared array string type. You want to store integers, it's not possible. Only one type of data elements you can store. One type of data, multiple elements you can store in the same array. But different objects, different data type elements you cannot store in the array. So that is the another drawback. So how to declare array? So this is the declaration of array. So data type, square bracket, array name. So data type means I already told it can be a primitive data types and non-primitive data types also, right? Java objects also you can declare your array data type. See any name, your variable name or class name or array name, that is called an identifier. What is mean by identifier? Name of the entity. Sorry, now here name of the array is, so it's a array name. Our class name is, that's also one identifier. Variable name also one identifier. That's identifier message. So name of the any entity is called identifier. We call basically. See, double square bracket data. See, this is the main representation of array. This is the array. This array data type is double type. Like that you have int list, string fruits, rectangle boxes. See, this is the data type of the array. So boxes is the array name, fruits is the array name, list is an array name. So how many elements array can hold? So you have to specify the array size. So you have to allocate the memory for the array like this. So you declared array like this. Then what you are doing, you are allocating a memory. Data, new double 10. That means 10 elements can be stored in this data array. So array, this data array can store 10 elements. So the size and length of the array is 10. The size and length of the array is 10. So that is the array size. How can we declare? So there are formulas, okay? So how to create an array object? So you have to use these formulas, any of these formulas. So data type, square bracket, array name equal to new data type size. So data type, array name, square bracket, new data type, size. So data type, array name, square bracket, new data type, and you can give all the array elements E1, E2, E3, E4 like that. So here square bracket you are giving after data type, and you can give here also array symbol with array name also. Both are correct. Both are correct. And this is the third type. So list new int 10, fruits new string 5, boxes new rectangle 4. So this is the how to create an array. So now see I'm creating int marks equal to new int 5. That means 5 elements I can store. So in this array marks array can contain 5 elements. The first element index is 0 and last element index is 4. So how you are getting this 4? Can you tell me? This array size is 5. But how you are getting this 4?
Length minus 1. Array
The length minus 1. This is the array length minus 1. That's the last element index. You should not hard code. What is the formula you need to write? For example, if I ask what is the last element index? So you need to write array name marks square bracket the length array dot length minus 1. That you need to write. Don't tell 4. Always write the formula. Always write the formula. So first element means array name marks of 0. If you give the first element index, you are giving a 0 index, and whatever the value is stored here, and you can get it. So that's the how you can store values. But see that how it will store in the array. Once you create array, like you created like this, right? That will go and store in the heap memory. It will store in the heap memory. But that reference, what is the reference? The reference is A, right? Or marks. So that will store in the stack memory. That will store in the stack memory. All the runtime objects will go and store in the heap memory. And the reference of that object will store in the stack memory. Every time reference variable will be destroyed. Stack variables will be destroyed, right? After that method over. So that is the local variable data will be destroyed from the stack memory. Local variable data will store in the stack memory. Runtime data or objects will store in the heap memory. So non-static variables, non-static methods will come and store in the heap memory. So that is the how. So the arrays will store. Which memory arrays will store? This object will go and store in the heap memory. And the reference of this object reference is A. So the A will store in the stack memory. Is this clear? The memory is understanding also very important. In the interviews, even a developer interview also, they will ask, can you explain the JVM architecture memory areas? You should know what is a stack, what is a heap. Stack will store a temporary data or local data. Once method execution is over, that will be destroyed. Heap memory, runtime data will store.